Lake Trail is Junior Ranger approved!
This is pretty cool. We get to cross Avalanche Creek.
Hey everyone! In this video, I wanted to share 5 tips for hiking with kids, as well as 5 ideas for making hiking fun by turning them into adventures. And what better way to talk about hiking than to enjoy the beautiful views of Avalanche Lake Trail here at Glacier National Park.
Ready for 5 tips and 5 fun ideas for hiking with kids.
Tip number 1, start small, start young. We started taking our daughter Alexis out on trails when she was just shy of 2 years old. Now, that's not to say that just because your kids are older, you can't start taking them on hikes. These tips will still apply to older kids, but if you can, start them young. You don't want to plan an overly long hike, which leads into tip 2. Start with short hikes.
Aww, aren't you guys cute?
Don't plan to be out on the trails too much when they're young. Just enough where they can get a little taste of the trails, get a little taste of the adventure, and develop that wonderful young love for hiking. Now, keep in mind that Avalanche Lake Trail is not a beginner trail for children. It's almost 6 miles out and back. But these girls are seasoned hikers. Tip number 3, start early and start fresh. Always best to have the hike at the beginning of the day before everyone gets tired, especially for those young ones that still take naps. Tip number 4, always eat right before the hike and bring along snacks. Any of you parents know kids are always hungry, and they'll be sure to remind you several times out on the hikes.
You got a map. Which way are we supposed to go?
Straight.
Straight. That's good. Big giant boulder.
Tip number 5, as you're choosing these hikes, find one with a water source. Any water source on a hike is always a bonus, whether it's a river, a lake, even a small creek or stream. A water feature always adds fun for the kids.
Pretty, it just follows along this Avalanche Creek. So pretty.
And a bonus tip, try to pick hikes that are in the woods that create shade, which creates a much more comfortable atmosphere for everyone.
Now we're getting a little more of an incline here. And then you still this beautiful turquoise Avalanche Creek. Beautiful.
We adults, of course, just love enjoying the beautiful scenery around us as we hike.
Getting another award-winning shot down there.
But kids need a little more than just beauty and nature. They need adventure. Now we're on to our 5 fun ideas that turn hiking into an adventure. Fun idea number 1 is to play house. Playing house or playing family has always been something kids of every generation enjoy. This was actually our very first idea to keep Alexis entertained on the trails when she was just about 2 years old. Little 2-year-old Alexis would pretend that she was the mommy and we were her children, and she had to be sure that her children behaved out on these hiking trails. She named Daddy Daniel, and I was Elizabeth, and I'm sure we got a few interesting looks as people would walk by and hear our 2-year-old daughter calling us by what they thought was our first names. But this actually sparked a big interest in hiking with Mommy and Daddy, as it was her chance to be in charge. What toddler wouldn't want the opportunity to boss around her parents?
How pretty these rocks are too.
And the next clue would be on a
Whoa,
log.
look at the mountain there, guys.
Math also says you'll find a hiking stick on your way.
Awesome. All right, come on, girls. Let's get up the hill.
Fun idea number 2 is to go on an expedition. Jason and I have always been big fans of Bigfoot, so we would act like we were on a secret expedition searching for Bigfoot in the woods. We would look for footprints or other clues that Bigfoot had been there. We would also listen for sounds in the woods to see if we could hear a Sasquatch. Daddy never did quite fool Alexis with his Sasquatch calls, but we all had fun pretending.
This is the clue. I was found by drifting of a lake. You must cross the path of ferns. Okay, we've got 3 maps. We've got 5 more to go. I found another clue. Yes, and we explored the mossy strip.
And your expedition doesn't have to be looking for Bigfoot. You could be on the search of dinosaurs, or monkeys, or even little trolls or elves or fairies. The possibilities are endless. Fun idea number 3 is to pretend that you are lost and you need to survive. It's always fun to make up your prequel as to how you got stranded on this trail. Just coming up with that story can take up to a mile of the hike. Once you've established how you got lost in the woods, next you need to figure out how to get out of the woods. Or maybe you need to find shelter and set up camp for the night. The possibilities are endless. Let your creativity go wild.
Because acid needs air, and acid is toxic. And acid also grows, but it's not alive.
Fun idea number 4 is to play I Spy. For those of you who are not familiar with this game, one person will state, "I spy something that is green," or whatever other color you see, and then everyone else has to try to guess what that specific object is that the person sees.
Oh, there's some big holes there for sure.
We also like to play a twist to this traditional game of I Spy by playing a version we call I Hear, in which you listen for sounds in the woods and see if you can figure out what sound that is that you're hearing. It's fun to go back and forth between these two versions, depending on what you're seeing or hearing at the time.
Look how big this cedar is. Holy smokes. That's a big cedar. Look at that big cedar.
Fun idea number 5 is to search for clues and create a nature scavenger hunt. The first person would read a clue on the bark of a tree, stating that we need to look for a mossy patch. And then once someone finds that mossy patch, they come up with a clue to find a crooked branch. The play continues as everyone uses their imagination to determine what the next clue might be. This last fun idea is actually what is featured in this video as the girls find clues to get to their next stop in the woods until all the clues finally lead them to Avalanche Lake.
Look it!
Oh, I know the little chipmunk. So we made it to Avalanche Lake. Now we're headed back. What do you think of the trail, Lou?
I like it.
Was it pretty good?
Yeah.
It was kind of a long one, but you did great. What do you think, Dada?
Pretty
Thumbs up. Pretty good. Junior Ranger approved.
Go! The Avalanche! The Avalanche Lake Trail is Junior Ranger approved!
This is so pretty. We're getting near the end of the Avalanche Trail back to the Cedar Loop.
We have a fun bonus idea along the same lines of the scavenger hunt. You can create a list of things you would potentially see along your hike, and the kids can mark them off as you find them. You could also create a bingo card with different objects in each of the squares of things that you might see along your hike. Whoever gets bingo first wins a prize.
This is pretty cool. We get to cross Avalanche Creek. Whoa.
With all of these ideas, creativity is the key. Come up with an adventure and everyone can play their role as you all enjoy your family hike. In the beginning, Mommy and Daddy came up with the specific adventure of the hike, but it didn't take long for Alexis to come up with her own adventures and we would just play along. I can honestly say we've really never had a hike where Alexis has complained or a time she hasn't really wanted to even go on a hike.
The Trail of the Cedars is Junior Ranger approved.
Go. Go.
The Trail of the Cedars is Junior Ranger approved.
Awesome. Aww. Yep, so this is a little button buck.
Of course, you always want to start small. Start with short hikes at a young age and make them fun. You can build up to longer hikes and then just enjoy nature together as they get older. It really is a great activity to help you bond on a different level. These fun adventures soon turn into more meaningful conversations. Well, I hope these tips and ideas help you all enjoy your family hikes. We'd also love to hear your fun ideas in the comments on how you can turn any hike into a family adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and we'd love to have you subscribe and join us on all the many adventures we take across America. And now to get some firewood as we end the day with ice cream and a campfire.
So that is a cool little deal. The girls decided that was a nature's porta potty.